the night this guy got his brown belt.
Oh,
He's
that
like, no,
was
we're gonna
brutal.
celebrate. We're gonna go get some food. So we got like pizzas. It was we were there for an EFC, right?
Yeah, we were there for an EFC, but if you remember, we had been to Novagen plenty times prior to
Yeah,
that.
you had been training there.
Plenty, right? That night, fucking everyone just pitched up, dude. Everyone, and I don't, the old Novagen was like minute, and like every brown belt that had ever existed in Durban pitched up, dude. I was like, and it just, I think I started with Daryl and then Zach. Those were my first 2 roles, and then it was
Like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then it
Thicker
just,
than a Snickers, Zach, but that's
Yeah.
I was like the lightest oak there by like 15 kgs, barring Daryl, obviously. And funny enough, the worst roll was Daryl at like 60 kgs, just like
yeah.
tying knots.
His rolling style feels like he's constantly working you into this corner.
I
Like
hate that
he's like a
style.
non-athletic role, right? But he's constantly working you into what he wants. And at the end, you're like, I saw this coming
Come
a
here.
mile away. Still catching it. But anyway, Warren ended up eating himself into a food coma. It was like
I was
2
so-
pizzas.
I was so sad with my life.
4
I was so
donuts.
happy and so sad. I was like, I just got broken by like everybody.
Still had his brown belt next to him on the next to the table where we.
I made sure I didn't get tapped by anyone, but it was fucking hard work, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez, like it. But yeah, so 3 years as a brown belt.
Yeah.
Congrats, dude.
Thank you. It's been wild.
No, I've been very wild. You must be one of the most active brown belts ever then in SA.
Probably. I think so. Yeah, besides for this year. Last year I competed plenty.
Oh, this is
Oh
Warren's
man, I
favorite.
Did you
fucking
see
hate
this?
this guy,
Did
dude.
you see this?
No.
Chico Jorge.
Oh yeah, but
Flying knee, what is it? Like
Wait,
his
what did
phone
he
or
do?
something?
So this oak is
you know Hans Molenkamp.
Who's
Oh,
he?
he's beer.
Monster.
He's the monster like athlete rep. Like he gets all the monster sponsors for the athletes. He owns Triumph United.
but he's got this thing where he kicks people's drinks out of their hands,
Yeah.
and it really annoys Warren.
Dude, it upsets me, eh?
Does he just go? Does he just go and kick people's drinks?
Dude, sometimes like a full plate of food out of their
Nah,
hands.
man.
Dude, have you ever seen that
Fuck me
guy?
off big time.
Bro, have you ever seen that guy, the Schmo? And he's got get the Schmo up on here. I think him kicking the thing is actually on here with the Schmo.
Are we on? Are we live?
Yeah, we're
We're
live,
rolling.
dude. We
Oh,
just,
yeah.
we just get straight
We
into
know-
it, dude.
We just
Oh,
slide
we need
straight
a
in,
new-
bro.
we should
we
get
need
straight
a new
into it.
intro.
Yeah, I need a jiggle or something.
It was obviously at January's Bellator, so it'll be somewhere
So
back.
that's going to be about 650,000
On this jiu-jitsu show, we're
posts
definitely going to talk about how terrible Gaethje's jiu-jitsu was.
So when
How
we were
dare
at
you,
Bellator in January, dude, I was chilling there and I check the Schmo's doing this interview, and like microphones aren't cheap, dude. This motherfucker comes up to this oak, does this question mark kick, hits the fucking microphone out of his hand in the middle of an interview. I was like, dude, that oak is so lucky it wasn't me, dude. I would have fucking jumped over that banister and just fucking rolled this oak right there. But he does it to everyone, dude, and you can check he pisses people off. He like pissed Cormier off. Cormier had to beat him up the one time, dude.
No, you don't want Cormier getting his hands on you.
You don't want Cormier falling on you, dude.
So let me ask you, so your gym, how's it been? Have you guys seen an uptake in lots of new members?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Okay.
That's been well, not our personal gym. That one closed, unfortunately, due to COVID, which hopefully soon will be
It's
reopened.
We're in the
Reopen
process
it,
of
it
getting a
gonna
new
be-
premises.
It wasn't like we had to. It wasn't that we had to close due to like financials. It was that the place we were hosting it changed the layout, so it kind of forced us to move.
So
Yeah,
is it going to stay Fifth Element?
it'll all be the same. We're trying to get into one of the shopping centres at the moment, but they've been quite adamant that the space we want is for retail. But we're trying to
Okay.
push the. I mean, like if no one's taking the space, surely you can let it off to non-retail. But if we can get that, that'll be awesome. Then we'll be opening up soonish.
Nice.
But where we were, the guy that we were renting from, it was his mats, and he decided that he wanted to change the layout, and he cut the mats down from
60.
down to about 58, 60
Yo,
squares.
That's a
So we're like,
huge
okay,
jump.
cool, that kills that instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Because we're going to reopen as soon as we can reopen, but then
And
yeah.
the new guys starting jits, have you asked them why they're starting? Or
The amount of new guys at FFM's been pretty ridiculous. Like they separate the classes. Obviously, they have like an introduction little area, and that's been full every week. I'm not actually sure. Maybe it's just because people want to be more active after lockdown. You know.
I think there's also less sessions you can attend, so every session looks like mad busy. You know.
And Apex, have you guys been training there much?
No, I haven't been to Apex. They opened up a new
Yeah,
facility the
no,
other
yeah.
day. I was
You
thinking
need
of
to
going
go
there
visit.
for after the gradings to go roll.
Good idea.
I think that should be pretty cool.
Yeah, we've exploded. Like
Is it?
it's been like a second January or February. Like I was saying to BigAl that since September, I think we've signed up close to like 35 new members.
Jeez.
Jeez,
Awesome,
like that's
man.
decent,
Well done.
They just don't stop. Like
I see that explains the black Audi outside, right?
Yeah, yeah. they just.
Businesses are booming, bro.
I mean, not that well. I
I
mean,
walked
you
in,
know.
I was looking at it, I wanted to say to Rourke before he interrupted me, I was like, wow, GBI is definitely doing well at the moment, right?
GBI, yeah, it's been crazy. Like kids not so much. I think parents have seen like how expensive it is to raise kids. I guess parents do that
Just,
the whole
bro.
time. I already didn't. I never really did. But the adults has just been through the roof.
Oh, that's awesome.
Through the
dude.
roof, and a complete mix. Men, women, old, young.
That's awesome.
It's been quite surprising to see, and asking them like a lot of I've seen your guys sign, and I've been meaning to come past, and Joe Rogan obviously.
Yeah.
That video of that dude from Huntley's gym.
Oh, yeah?
Shout out to the great Huntley Smith who stopped that kidnapper dude.
Yeah.
That also spiked quite a few people coming through.
That's awesome, dude.
And yeah, it's been great. So almost look at them and be like, bro, do you know what jiu-jitsu is? Like, you know what you're getting yourself into in the middle of a pandemic. Like, you're about to have my sweat in your eye. And they're like, yeah, sweet, I'm in.
Was it even a session about it if you didn't get a sweat in the eye or in the mouth?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there's definitely been an uptake in like having to whoop some new white belts into line.
Yeah,
Oh,
They
jeez,
come at you like they
plenty.
want to murder you.
But it's been
Yeah.
nice to see, and nice to see. That's why I ask. It's nice to hear that a lot of the gyms are filling up. It's
Yeah.
good to
Yeah.
hear that. While
Have-
we don't have competitions and stuff happening, there's a whole batch of guys getting ready to.
Oh, this
Have you guys
Yeah,
kept
this
a
video.
full schedule going, or have you reduced the amount of classes you're running?
No, if anything, we've increased actually.
Jeez,
We've
like-
got about 22 classes a week.
Jeez,
4 to 5 adults classes a day. Morning classes every day. Lunchtime classes every day. Monday to Thursday, 2 evening classes. And then Friday afternoons, there's we call it like a Pohada session.
Yeah.
It's like an open mat. And then Saturday mornings,
Socially
we've got comp
distanced,
class.
of course.
Hey?
Socially distanced,
All
of
within
course.
COVID-19
Oh yeah, I mean,
regulations.
this is all
Come on.
hypothetical, obviously. And then, yeah, so we've been pumping, I mean, last week, Monday, we had 42 people on the mats.
that's madness, dude. How many squares of mat have you got there?
152 square meters.
That is a lot of people on 152
yeah.
square meters of mat.
No, it's
dude.
getting tight, and we, I mean, just before.
Should just kick out the Oaks next door to you. What's Oaks next door to you? That Chinese thing.
Young Chen is actually very good food, so we won't.
Oh,
kick them
okay.
out. We like Young Chen, and then the shop, but right next to us, we were planning on taking over, before lockdown.
Yeah.
And now we just got to get back on our feet a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's booming,
Was your
Booming.
landlord alright through the lockdown?
Man, Mohammed, if you ever watch this, shout out to you, dude. He's been such a
Is
gangster.
it?
Been the kindest, nicest group of people. So the complex that we're in is owned by a collective called Rock Ice Investments, and from the get-go, we just played upfront cards with them. We were like, look, and they're like, yeah, man, we understand. And they've been. If it wasn't for them and our members, we wouldn't have made it.
Yeah,
they've
that's
been
craziness.
and still are currently being such gents. I think they like us and what we bring to the center. We bring a nice vibe, and yeah, man, it's taken a team, a community effort to keep the sales going, but it's been great.
Yeah, it's nice to see a landlord that understands what you're bringing to the table, because a lot of landlords see these martial arts gyms and they think it's gonna be like 20 guys that come through the shopping center randomly, but they don't understand like a big gym, like a FFM or a GBR or wherever. You're bringing like up to 200 different people through there every month,
yeah.
you know, on a regular basis. Every week you're treating these people through, and it definitely is good for business for all the other tenants.
I mean, yeah, we surrounded by food joints, and
you're building up an appetite.
Yeah, I mean, you got KFC, so you must understand when the KFC whops through, everyone you can see everyone stop training. But we got Sandwich Baron and Young Chen and Romans, and I think also just a different vibe.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
It helps that Bluebirds in walking distance behind you as well.
Yeah, look, that doesn't help, and Nando's is right behind us.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really, we mates with all the other tenants, and they quite like us. So
Yeah.
it's been great. We're not quite out of the woods yet, but I think if things keep going the way they're going, and hopefully maybe a vaccine or something comes along, but I think we'll be pretty much back to where we were by February before Corona hit.
That's awesome.
Which is in the space of a year to go from almost closing doors permanently to pretty much being back to where we were. I'd consider
Was
that.
it close?
Yeah, I think a lot closer
This is a
than
safe
we.
space. You can talk about
No,
it.
I think a
No
lot
judgment.
closer than even we
It's a
care
safe
to
space.
admit. Like
Yeah.
you never want to, you never want to think like that.
Yeah.
But after the first couple months, when the first month everyone supports, second month everyone supports, and then third month, you start getting the hey man, can't support. Like I have to
100%.
stop and.
And you also understand it.
Of course.
Yeah.
We never once fought it, or we understood fully, and we've even said to guys post, like, if you guys still can't afford, please come and train, because rather train than don't let money be the thing that stops you guys.
100%.
So yeah, it was closer than I think we cared to admit, but we knew what we had to do. We tried the whole online thing, and
Online sucks.
fuck man,
We tried that as well.
We tried
it's,
and we actually did it so well, and then it's not the same, dude.
for the kids, I think it's quite fun. But I think in the beginning it was a novelty. It was cool. It was new. But then by the third month, the novelty wears off, and kids, they're staring at screens all day. So I think the parents are like, no man, we can't fucking get them to do jumping jacks in front of another screen.
No, 100%.
So, but yeah, it's been good, and we still got some members that, for whatever reason, they're still not back. But we understand fully, and
it's also all that fear mongering, they've come and they've spoken so much shit that people are scared that, they don't understand what's out. Like, life's almost back to normal. I don't know.
Go out on a Saturday night and tell me life's not back to normal. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, is like, I'm not saying that anyone should go out and be reckless, but what I am saying is that the big fear that was instilled in everyone through the lockdown, and that isn't like the reality anymore. You can still live a fairly constructive life and have fun and have outlets without having to worry about this thing, as long as you take necessary precautions.
And also, we're all adults at the
Look
end
how
of the day.
COVID savvy you guys are.
Yeah, so that's
What's crazy is they were literally manhandling each other 5 seconds before.
But
distance.
No, they weren't. What do you know?
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this
Anything.
kids' powerful social distancing going on here.
But like I was saying to Al just before you guys arrived, we started in the beginning with the squares, and you do your jumping jacks and your drills and all of that, and then we did buddy training. So you train with your buddy, and then we all kind of came together, and the crew, the rest of the GBI team, we were like, look, fuck, we appreciate what you're doing, but it's fucking grappling. We know what we signed up for.
100%.
We want to come back. So that's just the way it is, and thank God, touch all the wood and all the gods, not just the Christian white one. We haven't had an outbreak.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. We know it will happen at some point, but I think more of us have had it than care to that even haven't got tested and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we'll see, bro. But we cleaning the mats more than ever. I mean, even before lockdown, we were super vigilant and diligent about cleaning every inch of that gym, and now even more. And now we've got the kids and the adults cleaning after every class, and
That's
you
awesome.
spray the mat and wax on, wax off. It's coming.
Powerful
Yeah.
mustache.
That
Was that last year?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, man, it's may it
Ezekiel from
continue,
the back.
and for all the gyms actually, it's just nice to see so many guys training, gyms filling up.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
From Cape Town, Durban, here.
How would you not want to have a private grappling session with that man?
I mean, if I wasn't me, I'd want to be trained by me as well.
He looks like he
Powerful.
smells like sweet mahogany.
That photo with the
Fuck
where
no,
that
I've
guy
zoomed all the way in.
dominates the person trying to kidnap that child. Did you see the mom throwing in that extra
yeah,
what?
with the glass.
Oh, this
She
Yeah, she's
stabs
just
him
like,
in the face.
"Dwah!"
Yeah, she's a gangster.
She throws in a little bonus shot. Watch this.
That's drugs. That's why you shouldn't do drugs.
Did you see the videos afterwards? He was like
Yeah,
so
he's-
high as
yeah.
a kite, dude.
Takes this guy's back. Very nice.
Shout
Watch
out
this
to
mom.
the great
This
Huntley
mom
Smith.
just goes in for an extra shot here.
Yeah,
Where's
check.
she
She
going?
picks up the glass. Here she comes.
That is this guy.
Boom. In the face.
Technically.
Ah!
Like,
And he's like,
job
"Ah!"
done.
You see, even the security's like, no, ma'am, you stay back.
Yeah, man, please.
Yeah.
Karen, please.
I like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
though. He's
yeah.
got that head connection. He's posting on his arm there. Onto
Why
the
is your
choking
dad
stand.
phoning me at 8:30 at night?
Hopefully the house isn't on fire.
This is one of the many videos you were talking
Did he
about.
try and
yeah.
phone you?
This is the best.
If he
He's a-
didn't, it's almost definitely because he needs help with DataCAD.
Oh man, don't even get me started.
Why on earth is that volume not coming on?
Basically, what Joe's saying is that
I'd beat this guy in a street fight.
jiu-jitsu
At one
doesn't
point, we
work
could
on the
all quote
streets,
that
though.
video. They're like, say that video word for word.
What's the benefits of jiu-jitsu? Well, if we got in a fight, I would kill you. Pretty much.
It was a prerequisite for joining the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, man, I just hope that this growth continues. I know even like S&T Sports and Robin from Fulcrum Geese was selling out of geese and belts.
That's
and
awesome.
We for
So-
sure need more gi supplies in
Yeah.
South Africa.
I think there will be some stuff. I'm sure now lots of brains have been ticking over during the lockdown, and there'll be some stuff coming in the new year. But it would be cool to
And
have
it's
a
easy
local,
to import stuff again. It's-
a local brand or something. You know, like Scarab was great. And
yeah.
We got
Why did
Leave Road at
Alan
Fulcrum.
stop that?
I'm not sure. I think it also just like it becomes quite a process. But also back then, think about what was Scarab maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Even more. Scarab. Alan used to train with us like when he first started jiu-jitsu. Like
He's my main training partner for our blue belt grading. Yes, him and I used to get into some proper fights.
and then he started like the whole Scarab thing. Then so we're talking like
Yeah, it could be even
6
or 7
years
years
ago.
So think of the size of grapplers there.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Fulcrum, she's making really nice, high quality
Yeah.
gis. Those gis are really good. And then you got S&T Sports, which makes the Adidas ones.
Mm.
Which
So did they have a license and they just make it locally, or
I think
or is it
I
imported?
think S&T imports, and I
Okay.
think I don't want to say without speaking out of turn, but I think Robin, like everyone, you send your designs to Pakistan and
Yeah.
they bring. But it would be really cool if you could have a
The problem is that weave, the double weave and the pearl weave, you can't buy that material outside of Pakistan and
Yeah.
Bangladesh, right?
unless you got like a special loom or whatever to
Yeah.
do your own. But
I did hear that there is someone in Durban who was making judo gis that had access to the actual fabric, but I never like followed through on it to like actually get the details of it. Because I mean, it's pretty simple to make a pattern. You just take a well-fitting gi and get
Even,
a pattern. It's pretty easy.
Substitch, formerly STJ, he was saying he's got the pattern. It's just getting that material
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
so
to put
difficult.
it together.
thick cotton and
And you can't compete in any sort of ripstop, so like you're forced to actually get there.
Check out those guys dialing each other with gloves on in a gi.
Sambo,
That's
man.
epic.
Yeah, Sambo.
You know you're tough when you wear long pants over your shin pads.
yeah, it's like a wicket keeper in cricket. So yeah, it's good to see that there's a nice growth, and now hopefully just next year. I mean, this time last year we were preparing for Submission Quest. You had trials, so hopefully next year some competitions come back. And
Yeah.
I know there was talk of we were trying to do a fight to win type of one, streaming only during the lockdown. But again, I think everyone was a bit nervous, but now in the new year, I think
It was also
there's-
like difficult because they said, I don't know if it's the same event, but when they contacted me, I was like, I'm happy to do it, but like I can't train with anyone at the moment.
Yeah.
And
It
so like,
was-
how am I going to prepare if I can't train with anyone?
it was a bit too premature, I think.
Yeah.
I think the idea was let's just get something going.
Yeah.
But I think now with pretty much everyone going back, every gym going full steam, It's
Yeah, everyone's going full clip at the moment. Like, I think everyone's trying to make up for
Grading
lost time.
season's coming up.
yeah.
Everyone's getting ready.
And I think they'll definitely. I mean, we having an in-house comp at the end of the beginning of December, just for our guys.
Virtually
And-
online, eh, boy?
I mean,
Socially distanced.
in-house comp for those of you that were watching that don't know jiu-jitsu means.
You guys are
Actually, why
playing.
are you watching this if you don't?
You're
do
playing
jiu-jitsu?
PlayStation, eh?
Yeah, it's FIFA, man.
Okay, in-house FIFA competition.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I forget that I'm speaking to. So yeah, we doing that, and guys are training really hard and getting everyone pumped for that, and yeah, hopefully the Zero Jitsu guys get back. You should have them on this thing.
We've had them.
Wild bunch.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Well, we first need to find all bad news. Well, I don't know where he is.
He's out in the
Bad
wild,
news,
man.
He's
He's still
busy
in the Cape, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
harnessing the wind or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
He sent me a photo the one time of his homemade mats. I was like, wow, that is desperation, dude.
And speaking of new gyms, we've got the Three Kings Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, yeah, I was
opening up
asking
Yeah.
you about
in
that.
4 ways. So that's Dino the Kids, Luan Fantonda, and Justin Power are heading that up. Yeah, there we go.
Will it
very
be
nice.
under the Gracie Baja banner, or is it just
no. So we're not affiliated with them, except the fact that they all are either current or ex-Gracie Barra Ilovo students.
yeah?
But
They
I believe
for
they're
sure need to
opening
get the
up soon.
Instagram sorted out.
Oh, so they're going to Stephen Castle's top box.
Yeah, and then I believe it will be for free till the end of the year, and then they'll start charging. But
man.
I mean, Dino the Kid.
They posted a picture today. of
it's
the
not in
mat.
their stories.
But I thought Dino lives Glen Hazel's right?
Waverley.
That's a pretty decent trip.
I think he's been boxing
Daily.
at Top Box as well, so I think he's just he'll box.
Ooh, MMA
teach.
debut, is that what we're talking
Hey, the
about
kid,
now?
we do, yeah. You know, we got to put those cauliflower ears to use. You can't have ears like that and not be a fighter. But yeah, it's nice to see that they'll have a bit more, or there'll be a bit more popularity there in the Four Ways area.
It's exactly what Fours needs.
And yeah, I think it's good for the I mean, those are three, at least DTK and Luan are very high level brown belts. Justin's had a kid, and
I thought you were saying at least they're like active. I was like, oh shit, this is taking a turn.
No. This was a controversy-free episode. This is a post-corona. Let's be friendly to everyone. So,
I'm sure we'll get into something controversial.
last time I challenged everyone in the country to a fight, no one fucking said yes. So
Dude.
you only because you were in the same competition, but the rest are just like,
Dude, I think Chris Wilson still has sleepless nights about you, dude.
yeah, well.
Junior.
What can I say? Look, I've got like 2 or 3 more years left in the competition game. Get in, get out, and then just teach. But yeah, Chris, I'll still take your smoke, my friend. But yeah, I think next year, like I know we were thinking of possibly looking to do like and I haven't said anything to, or I've spoken to Richie or anyone, but maybe to start like a jiu-jitsu, inter Gracie Barra thing like they have overseas. You just get you guys, us, Alberton, and I think Little Falls is still around. You have like a
Was Little Falls still around?
And
That's
Kempton
Rodney,
Park.
hey?
And Kempton Park.
Kempton Park was
Park,
still around.
And Guy went to go drop keys off there the other day.
Oh.
So I think
Nice.
I think that could be like a start, you know, just to get. But I mean, I think the first guys that do it, they'll have a good turnout. It's just going to take someone to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have a.
What are the
is-
protocols about it? I mean, like,
Is Alberton still going, or they've moved? Am I right?
No,
Gracie
there's
Barra,
two.
Alberton.
There's two branches, from what I understand. Alberton is Gracie Barra Alberton, but then there's also a Valhalla Randburg, which I'm not sure falls under the Gracie Barra banner.
No, but I think it's all Shane Carr, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
it
something
is.
like that.
Mm.
Through Saul.
Through Seoul.
Saul still trains with you guys, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What about Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Fours? Would they be included in your comp?
No, bro, because they train for the streets.
I actually have some questions about this.
I've actually got a lot of questions about this.
Yeah.
So we're not. This is a controversial,
Have you
controversy-free
got
episode.
some questions about
No,
this?
I know all about this.
Is this
Okay, well, you
Tell
you
us
explain us.
what this belt
is
means.
this
You
Joe
explain-
Berg's boogeyman?
So, Gracie
explain to us
Jiu-Jitsu,
and then we'll-
the difference between Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and real Jiu-Jitsu, what we do, I'm
Hey,
just
bro.
playing.
Hey, bro. This is Rena Gracie. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Don't you dare.
Here
Have
on
you
an
seen,
Henna
he's too
was-
busy selling fucking hoodies that turn into backpacks.
You
I don't
watch
know
it
if
on
you've
Shark
seen that.
Tank.
I want to buy
No,
one of
I've
those.
seen us quoted on Instagram. It's just I
Okay.
would buy it, but he
He
makes
refused
it so
to sell
cheap.
it to the Sharks, dude. I was like, dude.
He's
like, we'll sort you out one time, dude.
He's such a cringe dude, old Renner. But Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, so basically they learn Jiu-Jitsu that they only learn moves that would work on the streets.
Yeah.
So they don't do perimbolos and fucking, I don't know, foot on the bicep or misery guard or those type of things. And they keep it playful. Nothing against the guys, but
Do they do heel hooks?
I don't know if they work in the streets.
Well,
They
the,
get
crazy,
stabbed,
the
bro.
crazy thing is they've got like
I've seen things.
Brian
That,
Ortega's out of that whole system, right?
No,
So-
don't get me wrong, but he's definitely training some proper,
Yeah.
you know. But it's proper basic good jiu-jitsu. It's solid, but it's, you know, they would be lost in a IBJJF style.
but hang
AJP
on
style
here, because there's two things here. Firstly, if you've got a black white belt, is it a white black belt or a black white belt? That's that's the first question I
First
have.
of all,
What does it mean?
that you kind of sort of know what you're doing in some positions, but they're not really in the
This
rest, I guess.
this chap here, maybe you guys will know his name. He was around. There was two of them from this gym on the competition scene for a little while. I recognized them. They were definitely entering in one or two comps. I don't know how well they were doing, but I'm
Is it
pretty
called?
sure this dude competed some way along the local scene.
Look! I again, it's great. I think for a self-defense thing, and maybe for, like, if you're not looking for like that
Click that one out.
that roughness of an Apex, FFM. Are you guys FFM or Gracie Barra Sunninghill?
Both?
Both.
Well, either way, like, I think, you know, I mean, you guys know how
I think
hard
Gracie
you train
Baja Sunning Hill exists in the
FFM,
FFM
facility.
facility.
But I mean, you train hard at your gym. I know the Oaks. I know you Oaks. It's you leave some of those practices like, fuck, I'm sore today.
Every
you know?
practice.
So
Yeah.
so that's a
Crying
woman
a little bit.
empowered pink belt.
Okay,
Yes.
so explain to me what. So if you go up, right, she's got her pink belt,
Yeah.
but then also her Gracie combatant blue belt.
Yes. So the combatives, I think. Look, I'm probably bastardizing their whole business model, but
If she gets a pink belt, she gets both of those belts.
No. So
no,
look at.
that's different. Because that woman's pink belt is only for a woman
Okay.
to do, but the pink belt.
But she's got a blue white belt here, right?
No. She got her Gracie combatives blue belt as well. Go back to that picture.
The one we were just on.
Yeah. Click that one.
This
I'm pretty
one.
sure it said.
No, this is the woman empowered pink belt. So she's got all the belts.
Okay, maybe it was on her page.
That's,
I don't know.
It's going to be a bit
What's
strange.
her
I can't really stalk this lady to see what belt she has. Real.
I remember years ago, maybe like a year and a half ago, we had a guy, I don't know if it was from there, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu or Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Cape Town, but he came to one of our classes and I think he was a blue belt. And I don't want to say he was out of his depth, but there was just no, like, he was just defense, you know, like he'd just sit with, like, if you mounted him, he'd just sit like this. And when a guy is you know, he's not even trying to buck you off, he's just, and as you try and get a hand and he bucks you, but then you get your posture back. But he's not, you know, he's not trapping or rolling. It was very difficult to roll him in that he wasn't rolling back. You know?
Like negative grapple.
Yeah, like anti-jiu-jitsu.
So you
So like
you mentioned-
this is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu blue belt that this dude got from another blue belt.
So I reckon one of my white belts would smoke one of these Oaks blue belts. And I think any white belt who trains Brazilian jiu-jitsu that has competed or does that harder style of training.
You said we weren't getting into controversial.
No, look,
We're not calling it out.
but honestly, I just want to make.
it's
something
it's an opinion, and if they want to challenge me, I got some white belts that
Hey,
are
I
raring
actually
for
know
a
this
fight.
dude.
So let's
That's Trent.
let's take a step back. James Smart is like a legit black belt, right?
Yeah.
So we're not
No, not
putting
at
him
all.
in this conversation and his guys in this conversation. It's my main question was I kept seeing photos of a white belt handing out stripes to other white belts, and I was like, that doesn't make sense to me.
From what I understand, apparently so if you see there that guy was giving out a blue belt, I actually asked one of the coaches this question this week. Apparently they can do the test online, and then
Which is the biggest like
controversy,
controversy.
yeah, because then obviously it sparks guys like that dude in Cape Town who got his black belt and Hexen.
You mean his rope belt?
His son got a first degree Hickson Gracie black belt.
Online.
Online.
Yeah. So
And we actually went to the site for like a fee. You can do your black belt test, which is insane. But apparently, so what happens is if you do the test and get it certified by them, then a blue belt can hand you your.
Yeah, so the
blue
guy
belt.
who owns that gym, or the head guy, he's the bald dude. I think he's been, because there's some pictures on their page. If you go back, BigAl to Gracie Jiu Jitsu for his, he's been to
the
headquarters, because there's pictures with him and Henna and stuff. And look, I have no doubts, like, again, not controversy, and obviously I'm biased towards the Jiu Jitsu I practice, but look, if you go there and that's what you're looking for, I think 100% you're gonna go get some good instruction, and you're gonna go learn something valuable.
But let's be honest. If you're Mac Dojo and you're scanning through and you see this picture, you're raising your eyebrows. You're like,
yeah, for sure.
is this guy using energy for the tie clinch here, or is it?
I want to know about these in between belts, man.
So I want to get into
I
something.
think it's a progress thing. Like, I mean, like I was saying earlier, I have 3 years at brown belt, and in that, I think I haven't had a stripe for maybe 2 of those years, or a year and a half. Not as you get progressively higher in the belt, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
But as a white belt, like, being told you're not going to get a change of belt for a year to blue belt, that can be, for some people, that can be quite
Hey,
hectic.
that's
Yeah.
at the yard.
It's in the yard.
Oh,
So I think that belt system, I think it just like the kids IBJJF's belt system, I think it helps you progress and just gives you a bit more motivation. Like, I've got my rainbow belt now I can go for a real
sure.
belt.
So there's one thing I want to touch on here, right? So this guy's obviously investing a lot of money in traveling to America and getting all these certifications with the Henna and Huron and the whole Gracie. You literally have someone in Cape Town that could do this with. You could do this with, like a first or second degree black belt that's part of this Gracie University system.
I mean, James has competed in unanimous. James is legit.
Yeah,
legit.
and you could get someone that could like legitimately guide you through this whole process and how it works locally for you, instead of like spending all this money going to America. I mean, I know you guys might have had good results working with Brazilians, but I've got a really bad taste in my mouth with working with Brazilians. Like the bottom line is a lot of them are just interested in the money aspect of it and not really interested in helping you. We were part of Kaitera Jiu Jitsu, right? The Kaitera Association. We were part of multiple other associations, and every time it came dealing with an international individual, primarily Brazilians, it was like they weren't willing to help you. Like they don't realize that we're like stuck in the bottom of Africa. We got no access to anyone. We need help. Like when I registered with Kaitera, they sent me like a 1-page Excel document. This is your curriculum, and it's just like it said, week 1, lesson 1, armbar, mount escape, and I was like, fuck guys, I need like a little bit more help than this. Like I'm a purple belt trying to like build an association, trying to build like a community, and I need like serious help from your side, and like this guy, he's obviously joined into the Gracie University system. Like, why not go to James and like get him to help you with this process? Why spend all this money going to America when there's someone here that could probably help you more, or can definitely help you more, and understands the current landscape?
I'm gonna hazard a guess and say money. At the end of the day, the Henna and Huron are also Brazilian. Money.
This is quite interesting. This is an article that popped up with Hicks and Gracie calling them out on their online belts.
They're related. That's his uncle, isn't it?
So they've
and Hickson also
apparently
certifying online belts.
Apparently, effective
I don't know if
of
that's
June
true,
2014, students who complete the Gracie Combatives program from home and pass the blue belt test via the video evaluation process, no need for any live rolling, just demonstrating techniques, will earn a Gracie University technical blue belt. To earn the official Gracie Academy blue belt, students must pass an extended hands-on evaluation with Huron or
Huron or any
authorized Gracie Academy representatives.
This is like less of an issue for me, right? This is like, I don't really care too much about this, but what I do care about is that, like, surely there's a standard that has to be met, right? And if there's this thing on this in the community that all your blue belts are getting smoked by everyone else, like, surely sit back and you're like, okay, we fucked up somewhere along the line, right? Like, We need to sort something out.
We need to start sandbagging some individuals.
Yeah.
You check. This
But-
this is Cron Gracie saying, "It's a shame the way Jiu Jitsu is being sold. I'm ashamed to say that." And when I teach classes online, that you can get a belt from a Gracie over the internet. I'm sad to know that it's happening now. Unfortunately, I cannot do anything about it. I cannot do anything. I do not own the world. I can only control what I do. Jiu Jitsu is a martial art. You need to put your blood in the gym, hang out with your teacher, and earn the belt.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
But
Can't argue with that.
just to jump quickly like to belt things, because I was actually having a conversation with one of our new students about grading and belts. So like, remember also for us this is a completely foreign system, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. But you know the IBJJF's belt system and that whole idea that unless you're certified through the IBJJF as a black belt, you're not a black belt. So now I was chatting to so a new guy joined
Which is
the
also
gym.
bullshit, right?
No, it's complete bullshit. So a new guy joined the gym, and he was like, you know, so 4 stripes every 6 months, that takes it to 1 year to get your blue belt, whatever, 2 years to get your blue belt. And I was like, look, on paper, yeah, maybe, but I've seen guys get their blue belts in 8 months, and a year, in 10 months, whatever. And he was then asking about a black belt. So we, for our gradings, we usually have Rodrigo Fuyado, who's our sort of like head associate at Gracie Barra, come through. He's Yaron's, my coach's coach. And so he can't come this year because of COVID.
Yeah.
And if you followed the IBJJF to the T, Yaron couldn't give me, Storm, Josh, the various other brown belts in our gym, our black belt, because he is not a 2-stripe black belt.
Yeah.
The same problem with
Rich.
Rich Chef.
Yeah. So, but now this is the problem is Yaron. So Yaron obviously is now full time in South Africa. He can't go back and get his stripe in Brazil just easily, you know, because he's definitely done the time to get the stripe. But now you know, imagine now you've got a gym with a crop of extra 4 or 5 black belts who technically are there and who've put in the time and all of that, but you're stopping them because their coach can't do it. And the IBJJF did such a good marketing ploy to make everyone think that unless you're an IBJJF certified black belt, then you're a black belt.
No, 100%, dude.
And you know, it's nonsense. I mean, how many guys out there are legit killers black belts that you say IBJJ, they're like, who's even that? You know? I mean,
No, I
technically for you and me as brown belts, we have to be members of the IBJJF before we can get a black belt. So not only do we need to get a black belt from a certified IBJJF 2-stripe black belt, we need to be members.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they do all this for free and out of the kindness of their hearts.
$100 for free. It's bullshit. It's a money, and the best, you know, they're a federation only in name and title, not in actual. They just it's run by my cult leader Carlos Gracie Jr.
But this was always my issue with IBJJF, right? So they had worlds every year, and every year they had hundreds and hundreds of competitors going there and paying $100 to go grapple at the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, right? And then as the black belt winning absolute, you got a gold medal, right? Like up until about 3 years ago, before the money thing started really becoming an issue for everyone, like those are actually just pocketing all that money, right? It was such a lucrative business. But that's why like Robert Drysdale pulled out. He's like, listen, we're professional athletes. You don't pay. I can't pay my bills with the gold medal. You know, like that's why he stopped competing at IBJJF. And that was always my issue. Is like everything with these organizations is all about money. And I understand there needs to be a level of income or revenue generated by these organizations to make it viable for people to like dedicate their time to it, right? But when you're making so much profit and so much revenue and you're not giving back to the higher end of the practitioners, it's absolute
criminal
bullshit, dude. And
but you know,
that's what left a bad taste in my mouth originally with IBJJF.
It's like you pay your fee for Virgin Active, for example. You pay your membership there for Virgin Active. Now you want to go to a swim class, a Zumba class, a boxercise class, and then it's like then having to pay for all of those classes instead of, you know, so you're paying thousands of rand. It's the same thing at IBJJF. You become a member, then that's your yearly membership fee. Then you want to compete in the Austin Open, you got to pay the entry fee there. And it's all just a fuck up. And then if you want to do a rules course or a refs course, you got to pay for that, which I think to be a black belt you have to have done a refs course. So it's like a pyramid scheme actually. They fucking rope you in, and it's absolute nonsense. And I think that's why now we're seeing promotions like a fight to win, and you know, the I see grappling industry is going to make a comeback, but you've got Subversive, you've got that BJJ bet.
This is Subversive this weekend was awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
that was crazy this weekend. Hey?
That was good.
But you're now seeing these events coming up where guys are making money, and you know, you can. I still think it's important to have the IBJJF-esque type of competition scene, because you can't all be an Andy Murasaki, that brown belt phenom. You know, you can't all get invited to, or be Daisy Fresh and get invited to Fight to Win. But I think to say that like a guy isn't a world champion because he's not an IBJJF world champion, or isn't a black belt because he doesn't have a certificate from the IBJ, I think that's nonsense.
No, it is.
I think it's really silly.
I think it's been I think their system has. There's been many instances where the system has been broken, right? Where you've got purple belts at the age of 18 that are smoking, like veteran black belts that are like former world champions, and they're coming in and just ragdolling them for an entire match. I think it all needs to be like reassessed. You know, I like the idea of like, if you can beat the other black belt, then you can have the black belt. You know, like that's like the essence of jiu-jitsu, right? It's just that when you start getting like this corporate entity together, and like they have to make all these rules, and it becomes like, and I understand rules are there also to protect like the actual sport and the actual martial art itself, but it also like taken away a lot as well. You know, it's like now it's like there's so much admin, so much fucking red tape, and it's just bullshit. I'd love it to just get back to the point where like you had an organization that we can pay an affiliation to it, but then everything else is about building the sport. You know, it's not like, okay, there's a rules course. You don't have to pay for the fucking rules course because you're a member of the organization.
Also because the only requirement you should have to get your black belt is that you put in the time on the mats to get your black belt. There should be no auxiliary, you know, separate things. Okay, maybe the one thing I'd agree with is the first aid course, because I do think if you're a legit killing machine, you should be able to at least save someone after. But you know, I think slowly now we're starting to see a change with all these different comps coming up, and now anyone with money or a little bit of wherewithal can throw their own comp. You don't actually need that. You know, how hard is it to, with smooth comp especially? It's you know, we've seen it here with our guys. You know, when we did SABJJF, those were some pretty seriously well run competitions. You know, and I think, look at the IBJJF even bringing in leg locks and stuff from next year. You know, they're clearly realizing that, like, fuck, how many Oaks aren't competing and big names aren't competing.
100%. You're disregarding a whole part of jiu-jitsu, you know, and like people are like, that's not jiu-jitsu, but it is fucking jiu-jitsu. Like, well, I mean, there's more than enough evidence to show that like the founding fathers of jiu-jitsu practiced leg locks, right?
There's a video of
it was the American Brazilians that came in and fucking took it out because they were nervous of it, because it wasn't fan friendly, because people were getting injured.
It even went further back with Osvaldo Fada, because he was the only other major jiu-jitsu like lineage away from
it's the non-Gracie lineage,
and his emphasis was on a lot of the old school judo leg lock techniques. And there's a story of they had a Fada versus Gracie Academy cross gym fight.
I think it's
and
Carlos Gracie.
A lot of the Fada guys won by leg locks, and the Gracie guys were they considered that lesser grapplers attacked the legs and the feet, because it wasn't beautiful jiu-jitsu, you know. And I think that's also carried off into the IBJJF, is, you know, they could make reaping the knee. You're telling me you can go plata someone, or you can fucking kimura them, but you can't.
You can choke them to within an inch of their life, but you can't.
But you can't straight ankle lock or heel hook. You know. So,
but I mean, and you know, it's terrible that how it gets fed into the rest of the world, right? So like now, the American Brazilians are like, no leg locks. So when I first got my purple belt, went to the one Fila Nationals, and I told everyone, the whole competition, right? From
People
the first
were
match
not
to the
impressed.
finals. Yes, you know, Oaks was salty, and they were just, that's not real jiu-jitsu, that's not this, that's not that. They were like so livid, dude. And I was like, but where did that come from, right? I learned, we didn't have access to the type of instruction we got now, but like all these things you'd learn out of books of other jiu-jitsu practitioners doing it. So like, why is it not jiu-jitsu, you know? Like, I remember when I went to Thailand in 2012, I met this guy, Silvio Braga. And he was like, when he started jiu-jitsu, he grew up in Florianopolis. When he started jiu-jitsu, there were like, nothing was disallowed, you know? Like, there was just an understanding that like, while we're training, we don't go crazy with it. But then when it's a fight, everything's allowed. Just don't eye gouge me. Don't stick your finger up my bum, and
no oil checks,
we're
no
good.
eye gouge, no fish-ups,
Yeah.
and let's carry on.
100%. So like that's like kind of like the mentality I had was like, why are these things disallowed? It's because some corporate entity found that it wasn't favorable to the everyday practitioner, and now they're going to not allow it. I mean,
It's funny you say that.
ridiculous.
I rolled with someone the other day. I won't say who, and we were in the gi.
this is a controversy-free show.
Yeah, we were in the gi, and he heel hooked me in the gi, and I was appalled. I was like, "What the fuck did
It
you
was
just do?"
Helio Gracie. doing a
And then I you know I was just like I didn't even say anything because I was just like what's the point, and then I was like it's actually wrong. It's because the gi you get so lazy that you just leave your foot there and you bring it over, and there's no difference for doing it. I don't think maybe it should happen in the gi, but it made me think about my sort of like brainwashed like
A heel hook in a
Bro,
gi is
heel hook-
horrible if it's going to
Yes,
be done to you.
ugly,
You can't
eh?
get out of it.
No, it's disgusting.
impossible.
There's so much grip.
but at the same time like
There we go. The founding father doing the heel
in
hook.
the
yeah.
gi.
Thug life.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. I remember when I posted this, Don came on immediately, started criticizing the technique. I was like, this hang back.
That's
You know,
Grandpa
but I
Helio
mean-
over there.
Yeah, look, I think, I mean, it's just nice to see that the gyms are filling up. Oaks are training whatever jiu-jitsu they're learning, whether you're
Yeah.
heel hooking in the gi or you're wearing your red and yellow blue belt and your whatever style.
No, and
I
it's-
think the more people grappling, the better. You know, it's obviously we're very biased to the jiu-jitsu we love, so
Yeah.
something like Gracie University isn't thing. But you know, there are some guys like we've had guys walk into the gym and they try a session and you can just see on their face like, whoa, this is not for me. Like I like the idea of it,
Yeah.
but no thanks.
But I mean-
This
not
is
today.
this was clearing up about how the belts work at the Gracie University, and basically saying belt promotions are based first and foremost on the student's mastery of techniques that it will ensure victory in a street fight.
Oi.
That's a pretty bold statement. You know, like Rodney King, this was his thing as well. Like sports jiu-jitsu is for pansies. We fucking train to kill here. And if some dude's going to punch you in the face, have you ever seen how they try and emulate this? So like someone comes into your guard, like in the gi, and puts on boxing gloves and starts raining down 30% shots on you. I'm like, this is still very unrealistic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's, and you're going to triangle this person throwing punches
You
at you.
don't sound happy, Al.
No, I'm just saying like it's,
You know,
I get what they're trying to say, but they're trying
Yeah.
to like distinguish between sports jiu-jitsu gyms and street fighting jiu-jitsu gyms. Like,
You know,
if I'm, you can take a brown belt, supposed street fighter jiu-jitsu practitioner, and a heavy competitive brown belt, like competing gi and no gi. There's going to be a substantial difference
yeah.
because you've never, at least in a competition, you've dealt with some sort of pressure. You've dealt with anxiety. You've dealt with adrenaline. You don't deal with that
But-
ever. Like there's a major
you've
difference.
Nailed it. It's not about the technique. Anyone can learn a triangle. I can teach my sister a triangle. I can teach anyone a triangle.
You reckon you could
But-
teach me, boy? Please.
Hey, boy, you know where my gym is.
Be careful
But
with your knees,
can you
bro.
can you
Seen
can
those
you
legs.
can you throw in a triangle when you've
Oak tree
been
triangle.
swept or it's 5 minutes into a round and your adrenaline's pumping and
Yeah.
your heart's beating, you can't breathe. Can you throw a triangle there?
Yeah.
That's the difference. Is that's where the self-defense side comes in. So a guy who only does sport jiu-jitsu, but who competes a lot, even as a blue belt, someone who can hang in that crazy time when you're getting fucking this and that, will be far more effective than a guy who's practicing with, you know, little fairy punches. Like, oh, I train
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
streets. Also, we all know jiu-jitsu doesn't work in the streets, so it's a waste of time.
Actually,
training for
speaking of
street.
the streets, didn't you dada some guy who tried to steal your
I'd
phone?
like to say I used my jiu-jitsu, but I think the only thing that I used from there was the calmness. I was walking down the road to the gym, had my phone in my hand, and I know that they do that fucking, the Oak jumps, whips your phone and gets into the getaway vehicle. Had my phone in my hand and earphones in, just cruising. Oak tried to grip it, but strong grips, you know, jiu-jitsu. And as he turned around, just instinctively, I gave him a puss clap. And that I think put the fear of God in him.
Technical term for a ground
And
strike.
then as he turned to run away, in judo I believe it's called a foot sweep, but I just ankle tapped him like we were on the playground, and he fell, and then I managed to grab his phone.
Oh, you didn't post.
And
Then
then
you
he-
grabbed his phone.
Well, he dropped his phone, so I was like, fuck it. And then all the adrenaline pumping, like, yo, pluck some. It's mine now. And then Oak started phoning his phone. So I answered it. So I was like, hello. They're like, who are you? So I was like, no, your mate tried to steal my phone, so now I've got his phone. So they're like, no, it's my brother. I was like, yeah, your brother's fucking around and almost fucked with the wrong person. Like, where is it? We'll come collect it. And I was like, nah, it's not gonna for me like that. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to say I used jiu-jitsu. I think the only thing it gave me was just like, I was able to react in time, not like I didn't get caught up in the like, oh, my phone's gone. Like, it happened, it was over in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sheriff of Ilovo, like, keeping the streets clean there, you know. Like, if you want to move to Ilovo, you're safe there, people. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just good to see that Oaks are training and,
Yeah.
you know, it clearly works. I mean, that kid who's going to get kidnapped. So,
Yeah.
See, there's the strikes.
Oh, Dalit.
Yo,
what did you think of Khabib's mounted triangle?
Fuck. It was
Let's
decent,
get
dude.
into how terrible Gaethje is at jiu-jitsu.
So just,
Oh,
be, just
I'd
before
love to
just
pull
be-
that stuff
just
up, but
before
we're gonna
we-
get
just before we
smashed.
segue there, I just want to just say, like, when I started jiu-jitsu, right, like 11 years ago, this kind of made sense 11 years ago, where no one had access to a black belt, a brown belt,
Yeah.
a purple belt. You know, like, you needed these resources. You needed some sort of way to teach yourself and to teach your friends and like try and progress together. In the modern world, it doesn't exist. It isn't so much. Every
36 techniques. That's like
every country has plenty of black belts. You know, and every country has some sort of access to jiu-jitsu. So I think when it starts, they must have started that blue belt thing 15 years ago. It made sense 15 years ago. It doesn't make sense anymore. You know, and I think people just need to keep that in mind when assessing these guys. But if these guys are listening, I would strongly advise that this Four Ways crew hooks up with James Smart and that they sort their lives out
100%.
like through there.
I think that
You're gonna get burnt with the Brazilians. I can just guarantee it.
and it's like I think it's part of the community that you enter. Make sure that you maintain belt levels
Yeah.
within that community, right? So if there's like one gym like that Cape Town gym handing out black belts and blue belts, if that's consistently happening, it's up to the community to really
yeah.
call them
Oh,
out, you know?
They got driven out of town. Quick sticks, dude. They were a fully functioning gym at the beginning of December and were shut by February. So I mean,
Yeah.
we're doing pretty decently.
But
Are
I
they gone?
think also it's got to
Yeah,
depend on...
they shut down all their social media and
What
everything.
what
dude.
was it? CSA.
Combat Jiu-Jitsu.
CJA, Combat Jiu-Jitsu Association.
Look, I agree with both of you, but I do think though that, like, look, let's say one of these guys from Gracie Foys competes one day, he'll learn at a competition very quickly that there's a difference between his blue belt and the guy standing across the mat from him who trains out at FFM or Ilovo or wherever, Huntley's gyms, name any of the gyms, East Rand. You're gonna see a guy who also is training with. I mean, look at that last picture I posted with me and BigAl. You got 2 brown belts, 4 purple belts, blue belts. That's just a small picture from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, at my gym alone, on any given night currently, we've probably got like 4 or 5 brown belts, 6, 7, 8 purple belts, and then the rest are blue and white.
Yeah.
Check
You
Facebook, Al.
can't.
Isn't this them?
197 weeks ago.
That
though.
was
Oh, that's not that old, right?
2017.
You
Check
can't,
Facebook.
you can't replace that level of training part. I know
Yeah.
the monsters that lurk around your gym, Apex as well. You now as a blue belt getting thrashed by that level of quality.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your mate who has taken a couple of trips to America to meet Henne and Huron. It's different.
No, it is
you know.
different. It's completely different, dude.
And I think even from a self-defense aspect, I think some of our brown belts and purple belts at all the gyms could teach far more applicable self-defense without needing the syllabus from, you know. So it is delicate, but I think knowing what a demon James Smart is and how good some of his guys are, you know, just as long as they understand
100%.
that that's not all there is to jiu-jitsu.
Agreed completely.
Pardon me.
Okay, let's see when last they posted.
I don't think this is them.
I don't think so. either.
Yesterday.
I know that looks.
No, it's Combat Jiu-Jitsu
No, that's-
Association.
I'm telling you that they've left town.
These dudes have got a fucking legit eagle in their logo, bro.
That
Hey,
has to be Abu
Cabrini
Dhabi.
has a eagle in his logo, doesn't he?
Uganyan.
I'm telling you, CJA got run out of town.
Let me have a look at this
Did
guy.
you ever watch the whole series on
McDojo.
McDojo?
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, look, I mean, as also a leader of a cult.
Jeez,
Shit,
Raw.
Sorry, guys.
Jeez, like it.
God
As,
damn
as
it.
a leader of a cult as well, I mean, that
There's a limit, eh? boy?
those, yeah, no,
There's
he
a limit.
even took culty behavior far too far.
Oh, did you check that oak that celebrated after the win in the grappling match?
This one here.
No,
Right.
down middle bottom. Watch this. This oak does this oak, and then celebrates.
Yeah. Slap jitsu.
Sick background tune, eh?
I can't
Is this-
hear anything.
Can't you?
No,
My little one can hear this.
I can hear it.
I can hear it.
no, I can't hear a thing.
Pop your leg.
I don't
Pop-
even know if my headphones have been working because I can't hear anything. Am I meant to hear stuff?
Yeah,
You
you
must
must
hear
hear a lot.
Must hear us, I think.
No, I've just been hearing you guys talking.
Is this dude gonna celebrate or?
He celebrates and pops his knee.
I hope you've heard everything I've said. Otherwise, it's just you two.
Yeah,
I'm just going,
no, we can hear you, boy. You just can't hear us.
Oh man.
I wish Tattoo was.
what do you guys think of like the next thing for like grappling in South Africa needs to do? Like, what do you think the next step? Like, I don't want to say to legitimize it because it is legit, but like, would you like to see more submission quests, more competition, more guys offering different styles of competitions? Would you like to see more of the invite only, like team versus team, maybe like blue belt, purple belt tournaments, or SABJJF style, or all of it?
I think all of it,
so,
eh?
So let's start off by saying, like, whatever anyone has to say about James Sachs, he actually did create something that was very beneficial to the community, right? SABJJF was an outlet for a lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners, gi and no gi, for them to go and compete, and like white belts getting their first jiu-jitsu competition, blue belts getting into the more serious side of competing, and then we saw like a handful of higher belts compete, but not really that regularly, right? Now, you can like James, you can hate James, whatever. That was at least a decent outlet, right, for everyone to compete in. And we need something like that to come back again. And with that coming back, then all these peripheral things can start to flourish as well. I think you need like that core system of competing, like this IBJJF style of competing. And then I think those events, the invite-only events, should be held for like the higher level guys to be brought in at, And like the problem is that when you have too few events, then you got white belts competing in invitational events. Like there are a handful of, and I love the submission quest guys, but there are a handful of guys in the heavier weight category that had no business being invited to an 8-man invitational, right? So, and you could see it, like guys lasting 10 seconds, 15 seconds. So I think you need this core competition federation, whatever you want to refer to it as, and then you need all these other peripheral events to start happening around it, like it exists in America. America's got a couple of these things. They've got NAGA, they've got IBJJF, they've got Sports Jiu-Jitsu Federation. They've got all these outlets, and then they have Fight to Win for Fight to Win does do purple belts in that, but the main emphasis is on the black belts, brown belts in those events. I don't know. What do you think?
I think like if you take a Fight to Win style system, but then you have feeder comps into that. So you've got a comp where any white belt can enter, and who knows, maybe a dude comes on the mat and he just does a breakaway performance. And you think, I'd like to see that oak versus a blue belt. But I think it all needs to happen. I think for the higher level guys, it gets very difficult to, white and blue belts, you fill up a division quite quickly.
Yeah.
Purple belts to a degree, but brown belts, it ends up just being the same 3, 4, 5 guys fighting. So I think for a competitive, or for an organizer, kind of like what Jiu Jitsu were doing, just keep with your blue belt and your purple belt to a degree, and your white belt guys, build up those competitions, and then speak to the submission quest guys and say, hey, there was a crazy white belt at this last comp that we had. Maybe you guys weren't there, but I really think he could hang with the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think there needs to be a bit more help across the board, instead of saying, like, obviously everyone's out to get their own recognition and their own money and all of that. I understand, but the community is so small. We need to help each other.
Yeah,
So
100%.
you know, the Submission Quest guys should be, for example, phenomenal guys, and they held such a nice comp.
Yeah.
They should be chatting to the Zero Jitsu guys, you know, and saying, hey, like, we having our next big invitational at the end of the year. We're looking for some blue belts. You know, can you guys suggest some blue belts? Or, you know, we've got such good talent, and with I mean, look at the gyms filling up. But out of all of that, just through sheer numbers, there is going to be someone who's really good.
Do you know what I found? Like, I mean, I obviously entered the competition scene way later than what you guys would have. One thing what always disappointed me as not a young grappler but a novice grappler is there was never enough high level grappling on display that would get you excited. Not that it was never showcased in the right way. Does that make sense? So for me, all of these kind of competitions like this one that's running in the background, so it normally went through like kids and whatever, and then it started going up and up and building up through the day. Somewhere in between, like early on in the day, there should be some kind of super fight to display what high level jiu-jitsu looks like. It also gets the kids excited. You know what I mean? Like if you've got like well-known guys within the community that are grappling, and it's, you know, like the kids get excited. You know, we're gonna watch the sheriff from our gym fucking smoking dudes at 11 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think we've missed opportunities there to really showcase what high level jiu-jitsu looks like in the competition scene. You know what I mean? I think both for parents who sometimes don't really understand what their kids are doing, and both for the kids that are competing. You know what I mean? To get excited about it.
I agree with you completely. I think Kurt did it pretty well when they did ADCC at Mall of Africa.
Yeah.
They had all the kids, and the transition wasn't kids to like to the amateur section. It was kids to the pro section.
Yeah.
So as the kids finished,
That's
you
me
had
getting
all.
choked out by Martino. Fuck. Haven't seen that.
Bow and arrow, boy.
Shout out to the powerful Martino de Silva.
And like I think Kurt did that very well. Like, and as you said, like you want kids to like create these role models within the community
Yeah,
as well. You know, like
100%.
you don't want them to just look
Jesus,
at.
Daisley. Fuck. It's a nasty choke.
You don't want these guys just to watch Gordon Ryan and all the internationals, and you know, like you want them to like also see the local guys that compete. I think the lack of higher belts competing locally has rooted purely from bad management from promoters or like event runners. You know, the problem is like as a higher belt, you don't want to have to pitch up there as a brown belt or a black belt and they get told, okay, we're going to slot you in with the purple belts and blue belts. Because, you know, martial arts is martial arts. Someone's going to catch you at some stage, right? And then, like, there's this risk that a blue belt is going to catch you. And then, like, everyone starts questioning who you are.
But
even though you fucking smoked 10 black belts in a row.
Is that
there's
Zach
one,
there?
There's
Yeah,
one
it
blue
is.
belt comes and, like,
Zach
catches
the
you.
Dat.
Yeah.
Is this the one in KZN? Was this the one where
this
they...
was the one in Cape Town like 2 years ago.
Ooh. Is that Luke Michael?
There I'm getting choked again.
just from a different angle.
Yeah.
Were you hungover this day, bro?
No, I was still a purple belt. I was still raring and going, but Martino just had my number that day. Look, I think like what we're doing with the in-houses, I think gyms should also be looking to do that. I think it also takes away a lot of the pressure of competing when
Yeah.
it's just you and your homies.
I'm a big fan of that, dude, because there's nothing more terrifying on planet Earth than your first jiu-jitsu comp.
Yeah.
Like it's
And you know, you take out of that whole environment the nerves of all these strangers, etc. In-house comp. I think also, and I said this the last time I was on here, I think the higher belts, everyone needs to just cut the shit and stop dropping your ego and just go and roll. Even if it's not for yourself, go and roll for the younger generation.
Yeah.
Put on a show.
100%, dude.
And I think guys need to understand, like, you know, especially like some of the newer higher belts, the newer brown belts and purple belts, like, yeah,
Hey.
you're gonna get thrashed and whatever, but you can't stay comfortable in your gym and then not go and test it out. Like,
No, 100%.
you know, at the end of the day, it's just a loss. And I know it's easy to say, but I think guys should. Their coaches also, it's you know, I understand maybe you're a 40-year-old brown belt, you don't want to compete, but like the coaches should also say, dudes, come now, you know, like.
I also think you need a lot of this stuff almost behind closed doors.
Pushing their bodies to the limit.
And then like detail it properly, like follow the camps and detail the grapplers and like make a big thing out of it. Make it like look exclusive, you know what I mean? You want to make it look like a fancy nightclub that everyone wants to get into, you know what I mean? Like,
you know, when we so I was part of the guys and Jiu Jitsu guys that were trying to host the comp during lockdown, so I was part of that. And we put out the thing like, you know, we're looking for 8 of the best blue belts and purple belts, etc., etc. And we had our list of names and a good idea. And the amount of guys that were like, oh, bro, I hope I get an invite. Or like, oh, and it's like, Oaks, you guys are the guys that never come support the comps on the weekend. You never come, you never enter those comps. And yet now you think because you tapped out a couple white belts at your gym last week that we must include you. And some of them were my own guys. And, you know, it's like, no, you got to go in and put, like, look at Dylan Carrera Miguel. That Oak puts his ass on the line every single time he fights. And he gets shit whipped sometimes, and then he also does the shit whipping. But there's a guy who, hands down, if someone said, do you want a guy that's going to throw down? Dills, you know? And I think guys need to, you know, everyone wants to be a Gordon Ryan.
He can't hear.
You can't hear. So stop fiddling with your pole there, please, bro. I thought there was like a bass drop somewhere in the video here.
I can't hear his mic.
Good lord.
But yeah, oh shit, Jesus, Jamie.
I'm moving Khabib. He's not the goat.
Who's that?
Hey?
BJ.
No, just the headphones. Oh, it's out there, dude. You can see it's been yanked out. He was playing with his pole so much he yanked the cable out.
Is this? Oh, there we go. This is great.
Are you back in action?
Yeah.
You're part of the podcast now, hey, boy.
So we're starting.
Oh, please don't do that again. Hey?
This is a whole new experience. Okay, let's scrap the last hour and 20 odd minutes.
Start again.
Welcome, everyone.
That's hilarious.
But I think like, you know, so like I said, we're starting with the in-house comp, and then Richie, if you're watching this, I'm going to approach you soon or next year to do like Gracie Borough comps, you know, and just I think the more guys that can get some type of comp experience going.
No, I agree with you. I think there needs to be athletes.
You know,
but it needs to be done properly though. I just you know, like everyone's like, oh, the higher belts must just roll with the lower belts. It's just no, like you've done so long to go and have to roll like a blue belt and you get injured because some fucker does something stupid, right? It's not worth it, dude. Like, and you know what? Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, when I became a new purple belt, I was wrecking purple belts, right? And I was almost beating some of the brown belts in competition. And at one comp, this white belt guy that had been doing some other type of jiu-jitsu caught me. I tried to do a flying arm. Hey?
Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Was he a black-white belt?
Yeah.
It had like a weird name, but he had been doing this jiu-jitsu for like 12 years. I tried to do a flying armbar on him, and I missed it, and he took my back and he choked me out, dude. And I didn't hear the end of it for like months, dude. Like, oh, you're a purple belt, you lost. I was like, never mind the fact that I fucking just wrecked all of these oaks, plus one brown belt that's not from South Africa that came over here, and I almost fucking wrecked him as well. But like, it's just like the community's also shit about it, you know? Like, instead of being like, oh yeah, you just got caught, it's like they just get on the bandwagon and they're like, just, you know, it's just bullshit. And I think the community's also to blame for why higher belts don't compete in these events.
Agreed. But also, most of those oaks making all that noise are the guys that never compete. So like, you know, I think those guys, I think also as a community, we should also be like, yeah, look, okay, is it funny that a white belt got you? Yeah, but it's a numbers game. The more time you spend competing, you're going to come up short eventually. And, you know, I think guys must just get over that and understand, like, and we shouldn't be paying attention to the guys that aren't competing, you know? Like, oh, okay, cool. So it's funny because DTK got tapped out by fucking someone else. Yeah, it is funny, but you know it's also funny is that
who's DTK?
Do you know the kid?
Jesus, get on the.
Get in the seat.
Get with the tongue,
yeah.
Jeez, bro, you
this
got to
is the
sip on
problem
that.
with these brown belts that don't.
You got to sip on that.
You know,
Gracie Baja Kool-Aid, boy.
Yeah.
I remember Dino walking into David's classes as like a complete, absolute knew nothing about jiu-jitsu white belts in that basement in Glen Hazel. And then just to watch him like start fucking destroying oaks is like
my first roles after I got my blue belt was Dino, and he was brand spanking new on the mat, and I remember being so hacked off because he's my age, right? it obviously is a little bit bigger than I am, but I was
A lot bigger.
I was so
Bigger than a
pissed.
lot of us.
I was like, this is
Yeah.
the Soak's like first few weeks, and I'm not tapping very easily. I was so annoyed.
But you know, it happened. We've got a new white belt now. Big. Speaking of this is a really cool thing that guy's doing, the gi exchange. Big up for Guy. Actually, he does. I've actually got one of his jerseys here around my waist. He's a proper little champion, old guy. He does a lot of good stuff for the community. But we got a new white belt now, Justin, and he's a fucking specimen. And when he comes at you, sometimes it's either do you put up a fight and pull out all your tricks and stop him, or,
But he'll get used to those tricks eventually.
or do you just live to fight another day?
Yeah.
Now I choose the latter option, not all the time. Don't get me wrong, and sometimes he
Sometimes
does.
they put him in his place.
Sometimes he does catch me fair and square. But what's more beneficial? Now the oak catches you in something in a training mat. Do you use every little magic technique that we've picked up over the years to get out? Or do you just go, you know what, fuck it, fair enough, you caught me. I probably could get out if I wanted to, or, but the strain or whatever, tap and go.
Yeah.
Now, we don't think, you forget about the taps you got or tapped out to by the time the class is over. It's already out your brain.
Yeah.
But now someone else watching that could think like, ooh, my coach just got tapped by that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this whole myth of because you're a brown belt or purple belt, so on, you shouldn't be tapped by the low guys. In a competition, yeah. But I think it originates in the gyms. Like, oh, you're the top purple belt, but that new blue belt caught you. It's going to happen. It's a numbers
agreed,
game.
dude, agreed.
But I think the whole attitude needs to change.
And I even felt it when we were overseas, right? I went to like a highly regarded jiu-jitsu camp, and I rolled the first guy. It was a black belt from another gym. I subbed him a couple of times in the match. Then I got to a brown belt from that gym, and it was like super difficult, but like I got like one tap in, and then like I got to another brown belt, got like one tap in. Then I caught this blue belt from the same gym, dude, and he fucking ragdolled me like something chronic, right? He was just and he had these gnarly fucking cauliflower ears, and he was just fucking me up. I was like, I just tapped black belts, I tapped brown belts, and then this blue belt just fucking wrecked me, dude. Like, and now you realize like there's different levels to all of this now.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a complicated situation, like there's going to be blue belts that are going to be able to continuously tap you, but then there's also going to be black belts that you're going to be able to continuously tap. Like,
100%.
it's just like one of these things in jiu-jitsu, and like even Robert Drysdale said, like a competition blue belt is a stronger grappler than your traditional black belt
Yeah.
is. So
But it's. I think like we had a guy actually tonight after class. He came up to Yaron and I taught the class tonight, and he comes up to Yaron afterwards, and he goes, he's a white belt, and he goes, man, I just passed a blue belt guard, and Yaron looks at me and he's like, Jamie, you hear this? And I was like, brew, none of us saw it, so it didn't happen, and you could see he was a bit like, oh, that's not the response I wanted to get. And it's like, because if we reward that crap, that's the same guy who, when he taps you out as the coach, goes, oh, I fucking tapped the coach out. And you're like, no, you didn't. I let you tap me out, or whatever. I also don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's the truth though. Like, you don't want that attitude to start then.
No, 100%, dude.
Because it's the wrong thing to happen, the wrong thing to have, and it's like, guys, in the gym, what happens between 6 and 7 or 7 and 8 in the class, that stays in the class.
Yeah.
And if you're the guy who's going to come back to the gym on Tuesday going, oh fuck, well I smoked old Joe last night, you're the wrong dude. We don't want you at our gym.
No, hundreds. And a lot of the time, like those low belts also don't realize that some of the higher belts are trying to like develop their game. They're putting themselves into like weird positions because they're trying to get good at something, right? And I remember Francois Groenewald is actually one of the first guys that said this to me. He's like, because I was running the jiu-jitsu program at a gym, and I was a purple belt, and he was like a 4-stripe brown belt, and he's like, you got the same problem I have in my gym, where you're the highest guy in the gym. He's like, you shouldn't be rolling these guys to try and beat them. You're going to beat all of them all the time. It's like, you should be putting yourselves into like weird positions. They're going to tap you now and again, but you'll get better at those weird positions. And like, I took what he said like forward for a long time. Like, I was just like, I'm not good at that said I wasn't good at Spargo. I'm just going to only play Spargo. And like, if you're not good at Spargo, Oak's going to pass your guard, like left, right, and center. And you get the guys after training, they're like, oh yeah, I was passing your guard so easy today. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but like you must realize that I was trying something. Like if we have to like, if this was a fight, it
Yeah,
wouldn't be the
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
You know, like
You know,
But,
and also it's good for them to learn, like, okay, like I can get a guy in an armbar and he could escape if he wanted to, but you're showing the oak the technique. But then it's a bit of like, as you're like, okay, so that's how you finish. Like, cool, thanks. And he turns around, I just fucking tapped out the coach, but he
Jesus,
fucking
bro.
sucks tonight. Like, you know, you're like, oh,
call him
man.
back for the next round. Okay,
You know.
Double round.
Yeah, let's go, you know. And you don't even tap, you just sit on them and just make them feel terrible. But I think
Use
you
the old classic gi burn, you know?
yeah.
Hold them in your guard, just like.
I think with all the gyms filling up, in a way, I think that will also kind of be slowly moved out, because, as we know, you can't have an ego in the sport. You
No,
know?
dude.
And I think jiu-jitsu will quickly, you know, you also don't want to be if you're the only oak celebrating how you tapped out the chick in her first week. I think you're also going to be like, nah, you know, it's time to go. And that's one more point I wanted to touch on before we wrap up, that I don't know for your guys, but we've seen a huge uptake in girls starting jiu-jitsu, which for me is just...
We've got a girls only private class at the moment, so it's getting
Fuck,
good,
man.
dude.
It's, and like I know Katarina has opened her own gym in Paulshof, I think it is. So I think
also Gracie Bar or what?
yeah, Gracie Barra, not affiliated with us, but it's an Ultimate Fitness something. I don't know, I can't get it wrong. But if you around,
Oh, is it in
Not
the
in
March gym?
No. That's why I say it. I can't remember the name. Here,
Ultimate Fitness was, remember Wayne from the old Apex?
There, you can see in her first post. I think
He had the like CrossFit gym when you walked in on the left there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but good for
Wade.
Wade, yeah.
But she.
What did I say?
Wayne.
No, Wade, yeah, Wade.
I mean, Katarina is one of the best female grapplers in the country. So, you know, it's good to see, like, there's a strong, powerful woman competitor and grappler opening up her own gym. So, all the success to her. But it's nice to see, like, even the girls are coming back and ladies are signing up. Because
Nice match, yeah.
I know the Gauteng girls and the gi, and credit to those girls and whatever other girls groups they are. Like, you know, they've been trying to push women's membership, and it's women in grappling there. Sorry, those girls. It's
But
it's
it is
tough.
a girls and gi thing as well.
Yeah. Gauteng girls and the gi, I think it is. It's tough, you know. Like it's hard to be, even as a guy, just coming to a jiu-jitsu gym. Now to come in as a girl, it's even tougher, you know. But I think.
But the more badass like grappling chicks that come through, like the bigger that community will grow.
Let's see if
like,
it says anything about
you just
this.
need a couple of them that like stick it out and they can see.
See I mean,
these girls
Apex has
competing.
got a good group of girls there, and I think the gyms should come together and like maybe.
There's a lot of girls that if you like, if they catch you napping in that match, dude, yes, they're gonna wreck you.
Katarina's one of them.
Old Monique gave me
geez,
some
like
fresh collie a few weeks ago.
She's one of the twins.
Yeah,
yeah.
war wrestling.
If
and
you
that's
chill
it.
out against Monique, like if you like completely chill out, she will literally rip your leg off. Like it'll be gone.
But you know, I think the gyms should come together and like maybe offer the girls do the traveling open mat for the girls. Let them come and experience, like all the girls from Apex or FFM come to my gym, my girls come to your gym, and like, you know, I think you can also get quite insulated in your own environment, and especially if you're new to the community, like, you know, if you've just signed up at a gym, are you going to go follow all these other gyms on Instagram? Maybe not. So I think it could be quite cool for the guys to help out the girls and you know, just give them a bit more of a platform to go. You know, how cool would it be to say, like, every month you've got a big girls open mat at FFM, then GBI, then you got Art Swab, and you got East Rand BJJ. I don't know, I think that's a huge part of the community that really out of all parts of the community could do with some serious
Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, that volume is loud.
Yeah. Because last year, I think just after we spoke, I went to...
Sorry, I just want to see...
No worries.
I see.
It's there next to... by Saints, Coachman's Crossing. just down the road from the old Apex place.
Yeah, see, if you live in Bryanston, Fourways, Santon, you are flush with gym choices, eh?
Yeah.
Just it's fun. And if you just think, like 10 years is a long time, but it's not actually that long in the grand scheme of things, right? 10 years ago, none of this
Nothing.
exists.
Yeah, crazy.
Like,
eh?
Rich and them were in like a little.
Quantum Tribe even spelled jiu-jitsu wrong on the original building. Do you remember that?
10 years ago, exactly,
Yeah.
dude. And, oh, I think it was like 12 years ago. But even if you think of like, you look at Gracie bar hunting, all right, that wasn't in existence. Rich and Chef didn't even do jiu-jitsu, like have like a full like system of jiu-jitsu. They were like running their.
I remember the
thing on the
first
side.
FFM under that garage in Rivonia.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was a tiny little.
It was basically
tiny,
Muay Thai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you know the girls, I think, like I was saying, last year I fought in that competition in Angola, and I was training out of the Gracie Barra gym there, and it's like they have a fully fledged killing unit of chicks. Like it's scary, and also
Hit squad.
yeah.
Is that where Katrina came out of that gym?
Yeah, Katarina came out of there, and then you've also got like GF Team Angola, who've also got like a group of savage chicks, and I asked Professor Helio from there, like, you know, how did you guys get in? And it's like, bro, you started off with the self-defense thing, and then, you know, they buy into it more and more, but also just telling guys, bro, you've all got a sister, you've all got a girlfriend, you all got a wife. How many of you guys have you brought your wife to
Yeah,
train?
my wife does jiu-jitsu,
Does she? Okay, well.
which is his sister.
No, I know.
And then his sister also does jiu-jitsu.
Who's
You're
not
trying to
your
push
wife.
her.
Who's not my wife.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if they were
He's,
both
he's
on
only
the-
married to one sister.
But well, it's 2020. Anything could be fucked up. But like my sister, I brought her to the gym a couple of times, but there's just no. She's like, it's not her thing, which is cool.
Yeah.
But now, you know, I don't know out of how many of her other friends, it's just that one that would like to, if she just stepped on the mat, would actually be like, oh shit, this is quite cool.
So what you should do is keep like a couple of square meters of puzzle mat in your car, just in case.
Just in case.
And like when you're walking on the streets, you're like, have you heard about jiu-jitsu? Let me
Ma'am,
just
let
show
me
you.
sit on your chest.
That is essentially what Warren and I do every week. We have a bunch of mats in the boot, and then we travel and do a girls only.
Because even though
CrossFit.
our gym doesn't exist, like in like an actual physical gym, like all the people still want to
Existing,
train.
yeah.
No, they still want to train. That's why we have to like just move the gyms to
It's like
the
yeah,
mat.
every week.
But
It's
like,
like
I mean, I'd like to say to the girls in the gi, like, we'd like to offer them like every Saturday, every other month. Like, you can come to the gym. We'll take down the male change room signs. Like, it can be your gym for the day, and like, just give them a spot to train. And I mean, look at young Mila Ben David, for example. I mean, like, there's a young girl who, there she is right there, who is going to be a world champion one day if she doesn't stop, which I don't think she will. But you know, how many little Milas are running around out there, you know? But also that you could find a girl who gets to Katarina's level who's older. So I don't know. I think it's just one glaring part of the community that needs quite a lot of attention from, and I think it's our duty as higher belts, as bigger successful gym owners, to try and offer something, you know, a weekly self-defense course, or like a one-stop seminar or whatever day.
I think for a lot of ladies that they struggle to get over the like having to interact with men in the gym. They don't want to do that. Like a lot of them don't want to do that.
But it usually runs to a point. So like the ladies program in our gym was running quite successfully, and then as soon as they get to a level where they realize, okay, it's not really about physical contact, like that's not the goal of what you're doing here, then they often move into the general class, right? So I think that's where the ladies get caught up to start. But the ladies only sessions definitely would help attract
We actually
more
grew that ladies
ladies.
class quite nicely.
Yeah.
And like what we did is like we got them in and we assured them that they didn't have to roll men, right? And it was a ladies only class. I taught the class. I had
we actually used to run it to attract more of the ladies. We ran it during the kids classes.
Yeah, because they had to be there anyway.
Yeah, so they were there for the kids.
And then like after a while, I'd probably say after about 2 months, then they said, "Can we roll you?" And it's like, "Okay, you can roll me." So then I'd roll with them, and then you'd see like some of them would be like, "It's the adults class now," and I'd be like, "Yeah, it's the adults class. Can we jump in the adults?" Yeah, sure. Your membership includes the adults class. Cool. Jump into the adults class, and then that's how it like landed up growing, and it's just like figuring out like a decent system to get them over that, like these men here aren't like pervy like guys trying to like touch you, you know, like it's just
I agree. I think also they should remember that it's just nerve-wracking for a guy to walk
Yeah,
in
dude.
as well. You
imagine
know?
you hurt her, like
No,
that's the
it's-
end of it, dude.
You know, I
Unless
think
you're one of
what
those guys who just wants to
Al,
win all
what
the
you
time.
should do is get Katarina on the next one. Like, get her to come and have a chat, because she's a
It's a
really
good idea.
like untapped,
Untapped resource
you know, and
of
like,
knowledge.
And look, I mean, in our gym, we were running a ladies only class before lockdown, but now we're slowly building up again. But we've kind of said to the girls, like, look, for now, you just got to get involved. You got to get jumped in, and you know, you at the end of the day, it's a self-defense martial art. Just rolling, you know, Betty and Pam just rolling together. That's not real life. And like, I must say, the guys have been very good, and they do go gentle and whatever. And you can see as the girls start picking up some technique, then you adjust and you go a bit better. But like, I mean, for me and Katarina, she was one of my hardest roles, because you kind of cut out all the strength and physicality. And I think, you know, maybe some of the girls, if they see that a bit more, I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking out of my arse, but
No, but then you have the mat enforcers. They're always watching. Like, they're like checking to see if those new white belts hurt the chicks, and then they jump in there.
Trust me, a couple of oaks I got wrecked on that, dude.
you watch the
yeah,
the
you know, I
mat
look,
enforcers.
I also don't think the girls need to be protected in the sense that every guy who rolls a girl needs to now worry that fucking, you know, the big scary mat enforcer is going to wipe him out because he went a bit hard. Like, I think
Yeah, but some guys are
no,
dickheads.
no, of course.
Yeah.
But I think it should be a balance. You know, you shouldn't be scared.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like, fuck, I'm not rolling that girl today because I know he's gonna fuck me up. If in his subjective opinion he thinks I've gone too hard, you know. Whereas, you know, I think a lot of the times the girls can handle it a bit more. I'm not saying a day one girl should be fucking going against a spazzy white belt.
Yeah.
But if she's been
No
grappling
one
a
should
little
go against
while,
the
you know,
spazzy white belt. They should have their own club.
Yeah.
but you should also, like, you know, you not every day in grappling is going to be pleasant.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that, you know, we're not protecting and mollycoddling anyone in the gym. Like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
if anyone gets hurt and it's done maliciously or carelessly, it should be taken care of. But at the same time, they're in a contact martial art. Maybe they are going to catch a wayward elbow or a knee to the fucking face or something.
Because I mean, the thing Rourke is referencing, it only happened once, and it was one guy that went after like two chicks and hurt two chicks after each other. So then he got dealt with appropriately,
I
right?
fully agree with that.
The technical term is dalat.
Yeah.
He's still around and he's
He got
enjoying
fetched.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he's
It's
still
just
around.
that
He's just sipping through a straw.
But I think guys like
After
that,
he got dalat.
I think guys like that, even if they attack new white belts or new men,
Oh,
like,
it's he attacked everybody
Yeah.
at the same level of spazzy white beltness, but
and then he learned his lesson,
Dude,
and I guarantee he's now probably a very humble, enjoyable person to have around the gym.
not really, but
I've
No
learned
joke,
my
he
lesson. bro.
is.
There's more than enough blue belts and purple belts gunning me for
Mm.
me not to have to roll white belts anymore.
No,
I was
no,
like,
for-
that I can roll you. No, sorry, you
For
can't
sure.
roll me.
But I just think, like, with the mat enforcer, like, you know, we want people to come in, and like we've explained to everyone, like, guys, you know, we had an incident a couple of weeks back where a blue belt lost his toys, and he was rolling with a white belt, and spazzy white belt by mistake kicked him in the head, as they tend to do.
oh boy,
All fair and well.
someone does that to me, it's on.
All-
Now we're in a fight.
all fair and well. Then the
Full contact moment.
The blue belt then subsequently passed the white belt guard and gave a little elbow, just like as a retaliation. So that's fine. I'm happy with that. But then what happened?
A little bit of a strike. so
But
it's
then
fine.
what happened is, after they finished rolling, the blue belt got up and was all like, "Fuck, man, he kicked me in the head." No. And I was like, "Yeah, but didn't you just elbow him back in the face? Like, you
now it's clear. Now it's
you
done.
got
That's
your
fine.
own back. You stopped complaining." And he kept complaining, so I then enforced
Oh, you
Don't
see,
be a
that's
pussy.
like this.
don't be a
roll.
pussy roll, and I fucked him up for the next round. Because it's like, bro, you can't have it both ways. You can't
Yeah.
get kicked in the head, be sad, then elbow the oak, and then bitch and moan to me,
Yeah.
of all people. Like, it's like telling me you saw. Like, no, bro, you're not saw, and now we can dance.
But there's also like there's a difference in intention, right? Like, I've been running for 11 years. I think maybe like one or two people have ever hit me out of like bad intentions, you know?
Yeah.
I've been kneed and kicked in the face
course.
plenty of times, right?
course.
But you don't do anything about it because you know, like the guy was just being a little bit spazzy.
And how many times have you spazzed?
This like kicked me in the face like a million times as well.
I don't know, hurt like realign your hip or something one time.
Yeah, he broke my hip the one time. Like
Headbutted you or something.
I mean,
but like if the intention was to like hurt you and they end up striking you, then
then
you're
different
getting
story.
fucking wrecked.
But even then, like, I've only ever had that recently, only ever once in my grappling career.
Yeah.
Every time I've
Doesn't
ever
happen,
gone,
really.
any time a spazzy wild belt's gone hard, you chalk it down to them being brand new, right? I've only ever had someone like physically try and choke me across my face hard once a couple of weeks ago.
But like your Ron and I had a
salty
roll
about it if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I see. Your Ron and I had a roll about 3-4 weeks ago that was pretty much as close to an MMA fight as I think I'll ever get. Like valet shooter, like we were, because it started waywardly and like sorry, and then it was like there wasn't enough time to say sorry so we just ended up fucking murring each other. But afterwards we looked at each other in the face, shook hands, like aware. That was good, you know. Because we both got our own back.
Yeah.
Those fist fights are the best.
Yeah, you know. And when he tried to stab me, I kicked him in the balls. You know, it got away well. But
Where were you even keeping that knife?
But come train at GBI and find out. Great, proper jiu-jitsu.
Oh no, sorry, that's reserved for Gracie University.
Yeah. But you know, that's the kind of like, I'm happy if you sort your shit out there on the mat, but don't carry it over.
That's what it's there
or
for.
Also, don't carry it from you to him, and you know what I mean. Like, drop the shit.
And there's also like, don't get me wrong, there's some guys that you just can't roll. Like, they're just the two personalities, two styles don't work together. You know, like often you'll hear like from like high level guys rolling each other, they'll be like, I can't roll you. Every time I roll you, I get hurt. But then that same guy can roll someone else, and they like, there's no issues, you know. And like that's the thing. Is like it's also like you just need to like understand what's happening on the mat and choose your roles correctly. And you know, like the amount of times that these things are done maliciously isn't a lot. So these things happen like once, twice a year. So like don't like go look for it now. Like that oak's a bit hectic, and now you're gonna go look for a fight now on the mat, because that's also like not great at all. But yeah, it's the life of a jiu-jitsu player, I suppose.
Okay, so I'm gonna start wrapping up.
It's the life we chose.
Jamie's the guest and the producer here today.
Yeah, look, it's heading into the twilight zone.
Yeah.
But I do think like that we should all be happy.
J-Man's still got to go make his 5-star fishing.
He came straight from jiu-jitsu, dude.
Yeah.
He's got a Gracie bar pants. I thought he was just like getting into character.
I've even got my rehydrate in my pants.
What's on the menu tonight, boy?
Well,
that might have changed, boy.
Young Lucy, my sister, has thankfully made dinner tonight. So shout out to Lucy for keeping the temple going. But I think like just what I wanted to say before we wrap up is, you know, in this post-COVID time, like there's definitely going to be some uncertainty and like some possibly another lockdown, who knows? But I think we should all support like each other, and you know, if a gym does close down or Oaks are looking for a place to grapple, like let's offer the community the help that it needs. And like next year with competitions, like even if Oaks aren't competing or no one's sending anyone from the gym, let's go and support just being there in person. And like there's a lot we can do without having to do much. That I think, you know, it's time now, and especially when we've seen how quickly these things can get taken away from us.
Yeah.
It's time now for some of the big dogs to step up and like, you know, throw away that politics aside. Because at the end of the day, like, fucking in the climate we're living in, politics means absolutely nothing. And I think that's something we can all do pretty easily and all agree on that. You know, your gym filling up is amazing, because it means that there's more guys training there and more guys for my guys to compete against, and vice versa, and so on.
Nice that all the jiu-jitsu gyms are getting nice and full. More people doing jiu-jitsu.
# stay woke, young Jamie.
Yeah. And wear a mask and fucking clean your mats.
Yeah,
awesome.
And also after every session, clean your gi.
Yes,
Fantastic.
clean your gi. And if you need
one
a
roll,
gi, go
one
to
gi,
Guy.
one roll.
Yeah, and if you need a gi, go to Guy. Support the
we
gi
didn't even
exchange.
touch on
That's
Guy
a huge...
Language.
We did, bro. We're playing his whole video and
Yeah.
everything. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
20 seconds of his video.
Yeah, well, I
That's
can't
a-
watch much more, bro.
Or just go to the gear exchange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go to the
All
Gi
explained
Exchange.
there.
We've
That's-
shouted out like 7 times now. Please go to the Gi Exchange.
Gi exchange.
Find the link.
And
Down here.
and yeah, let's just keep rolling and keep supporting.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you for coming
That's
through, dude.
Awesome
My
shot,
pleasure.
man.
Sure.
I'll see you
I
at the
think
next
you're the only
submission
guest we've
quest.
ever had on the
I'll see you
Jiu-Jitsu
at
podcast.
the next submission quest where I take your belt.
Yeah, with pleasure. I'll be moving up in weight, so it will be open.
Oh, get a
Are
vacuum.
you going up in the weight?
How you guys?
Post-COVID feels, boy.
Yeah.